So we survived another week in the stock market, guys, and at this point, I feel like I can do anything. And look, man, we had a pretty good green day today to end off the week. The Dow went up 1.1%. Get ready for this. The Russell went up 2.8%. Yes, almost a 3% green day for the small caps, as the S&P went up 1% on the dot, looking at SPY, and QQQ 0.75% on the dot. So we had a very good day today. VIX went down 11.5%, and Palantir went down. Go figure, right? We had a nice bounce back day. Palantir went down. We went down 0.5%, closed at 154. So I want to do a quick chart breakdown, go over where I think we could be going. We'll break down the longer term charts, where my head's at, and some other stocks later in the video. So guys, let's dive into it. Let's do it. So again, Palantir, 0.5% red day, and we can see we actually got down to the mid 140s today. 147, guys. We got nailed this morning. We were down, I think, at one point, like 5%. Yeah, 5.5%. And we took the lows out from yesterday. Look, yesterday we closed at 155. We actually went down to 152 in the aftermarket. If I could talk today, guys. Yesterday we got down to 152, and again, we hit 147 today, taking out those lows and continuing the downtrend on this 30-minute chart. You guys can see which, look, we've been downtrending now this entire month. Not news, right? Everybody knows that. So, yeah, we took the lows out, continuing the downtrend on PLTR, and we're now officially down. We must be down almost 30%. Yeah, holy smokes, exactly 30%, at least from 222. I don't know if that's the exact all-time high. You guys know, Thinkorswim. Actually, yeah, look, that was after earnings, so I guess we did hit 222. But sometimes Thinkorswim, these charting platforms have glitches here and there, whatever. But yeah, 222 down to 154. We're now down 30% in a bear market. We're in it, guys. We're in the thick of it now. And the more you pull the layers back, the more it makes sense. Look, did I not mention this 180 SMA on the 1-year chart yesterday? I'm pretty sure that was in yesterday's video. You guys can see that's at about 144 on this 1-year chart. And again, where do we hit today? 147. And we had a nice V-shaped recovery off 147. Not saying that this is going to be the bottom. We're going to rock it right back here. Keep in mind, Palantir could now trade flat for a month or two. It got nailed these last couple weeks. Keep in mind, now we could trade flat and then go from there, But we did get a nice V-shaped recovery off that support, which is something I'm going to be watching here, not just for the next couple of days, but for the coming weeks. I want to see how the stock reacts at this moving average on the 1-year and on the 3-year chart. You guys can see, right around the 50 SMA, 130, 135. That's a big support level as well. So we're seeing, if you pull the layers back, we're seeing a very healthy pullback on Palantir. It is what it is, guys, and we've seen this time and time again throughout the last couple of years in the stock, and people panic. It's the same thing over and over again with this stock, and every stock for that matter. There are cycles. We have, especially for growth stocks, man, high beta, high growth stocks like Palantir, we have those booms, and then we have the massive drawdowns. And when people are just investing in a Palantir, for example, during the the up cycles, especially if they're a novice, right? If they just got into the market, they're investing when everything's green. They don't realize these types of stocks take nasty pullbacks. And a lot of the time, they're not ready for these pullbacks. And we're seeing it literally right now. And you know how I know, guys? Because I'm getting comments literally every single day. I make content on every platform you can think of. And, I kind of have a pulse on the retail investor community. And a lot of people are like, oh my God, they're panicking. Palantir's down, Nvidia's down, the stock market's down. But what people don't realize is now is the time to buy, accumulate, not to panic sell. If you have a 5, 10, 15-year time horizon, now is the time to accumulate, buy, and just hold. The best thing you can do literally is just hold. You don't have to buy if you don't want to. Just hold, because again, Palantir has seen these drawdowns, nasty drawdowns. Back in early 2025, this year, we went down from 126 to about 65. Saw a huge run. Even before that, we got up to, it looks like here we hit $85 back in the end of last year, about a year ago, end of December. We went to, hit 85 bucks. We went down to 63. That was a 25% drawdown in a very quick 2-3 week span. So this happens with this stock and with really all high beta, high growth stocks. So this is something that you have to realize and be able to stomach when you're buying these stocks. It's like, it's wild when people buy stocks and they're like, oh my God, stocks, it's down 10%. Should I sell? Should I sell? What should I do? It's like the whole point of the stock market, man, is to buy and hold long term. Obviously, there are different strategies. You can swing trade, day trade. But when I'm talking about a lot of these stocks, and I try and be like, okay, I'm talking about this from a long-term perspective, from a trading perspective. I try and distinguish those. But a lot of the time it's from a long-term perspective, right? We talk about these things. You just have to hold, take advantage of the dip. And the whole point of investing is buying and holding and taking advantage of the dips, right? These 30% drawdowns. And people just, it's crazy. It doesn't register a lot of the time. With not with everybody, obviously, but people that just get into it, right? It's like, it's weird sometimes. I don't get it. But I do get it, right? Because people are emotional. People are, it's a psychological game. People don't like seeing their money go down. I obviously understand why people are panicking, but I try and be that voice of reason and be like, listen, man, I've seen this happen before. I've seen it happen time and time again, take advantage of it because in a couple months you'll thank yourself. I try and be that voice of reason, guys. And here with Palantir, I think it could come down a little more. You could make that argument, but I really don't think there's much more downside here. I do think that this story's not over. It's far from over. And I'm close to buying the dip, and this is coming from somebody that it's hard. I mean, look, I'm in the stock at $20 a share average, so I'm thinking about it. It is hard, but I have such conviction that we're gonna go back towards 175, 200. It's like why not add a little bit? Don't you want to add and continue adding to stocks you believe in over the next 5-10 years? If the answer is yeah, I'm kind of talking to myself here. Add to the position, So I don't know. What do you guys think? I think we're in a good drawdown here, healthy drawdown. And ultimately, if you look at the 3-year, 1-year charts, it was healthy, and I think it's going to get bought up. Do you? Let me know in the comments. And man, what a day. What a day for the stock market today. We had a lot of those higher beta, high growth names go up. Opendoor. We haven't covered this in a little bit. Opendoor went up 10% today, and this is one that's interesting, right? We're actually putting in a higher low here, and by no means is it fully breaking out yet, but notice how Opendoor is putting in these little higher lows. If I get the channel tool out, if I draw it out, we're still in this, right? Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So we're still in this, but we're trying to make these higher lows. Watch out. If the market really turns around next week, watch out for a nice push, maybe back towards $758 on Opendoor. I kind of wish I added some here before earnings or after earnings when it was in the 4 or 5 range, as a trade. That in hindsight, that would have been beautiful, but I didn't. I'm watching it though. We had stocks like Circle, which I just started buying literally, I think a week ago. No joke. Last Friday I bought. So yeah, I'm down on that, but I'm just literally dipping my toes into Circle. I really don't own many shares at all at this point, but it did go up 6.5%. I'm slowly scaling in, and the lockup periods, expired. I'm pretty sure it's fully expired now. It's been 6 months. So this stock, yeah, I think there could be some more pain with the crypto market being horrible, right? We hit 80 on Bitcoin today. So if that continues to bleed out a little bit, I think Circle could come down to the 60s, dare I say 50s. And if it gets that bad, oh man, yeah, I'm gonna build this out, not to a crazy position, but I wanna build it out a little bit because I think Circle, pretty good stock, pretty good company, and I do want to have it in the portfolio. I made a video on it about a week ago or a couple of days ago. Don't want to get too deep into it here, but yeah, I think this one's got upside. I think it's got legs when the crypto market turns back around, because ultimately, man, yeah, Bitcoin could go down to 60, 65K, but do you really think it's going to go under 60K during this bear market we're in? I personally don't. We're seeing a lot of liquidation, right? People using too much. They're levered up, right? We're seeing a lot of deleveraging in the crypto market right now. And you have to realize Michael Saylor, a lot of these big Bitcoin guys, their average costs are like 50 to 60K, I'm pretty sure, on Bitcoin. So I highly doubt we're going to get the price of Bitcoin to go under where the whales are holding it at. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't know. But yeah, I think it's going to hold up kind of where we are now. Maybe it goes to 70, but I think out of this bear market, maybe it lasts another 3 months. And hey, maybe Bitcoin stays flat for 2-3 months. It trickles down a little more. But as we get out of this bear market, I think Circle is going to be one of those, companies, players that's going to, the stock, I think it's going to go crazy, is kind of what I'm getting at. It's been on a slow downhill for months and months and months on end now, but I just think it's not going to last. So yeah, Circle, nice pop today. My average is like it's like I think a 78, so I am down whatever I'm down, but I don't really care. I think the stock's going to be a $200 plus stock at this point. Not today, but in the near term future. So if I can get my average cost in the 50, 60, 70 range, preferably as low as possible, I'm cool with that. So what do you guys think about Circle? It's a little more speculative, not crazy speculative, but I mean, hey, it is in the crypto space, stable coins. It's fintech. You guys know I like my fintech stocks. SoFi made a good amount there, right? DeFi Technologies, another one which we haven't covered in a little bit. That one's been getting demolished, but I'm still holding. Believe it or not, guys, we are now in the 95-cent range. It's crazy, but I'm still holding because I like what they're doing in the crypto space, right? Over in Europe with their ETPs, Valor, what they have coming in the pipeline, what they're slowly starting to generate revenue from. If you guys listened to the conference call, you'll hear all about that. So yeah, I mean, DeFi, the stock's been horrible, but it's one of those where it's a small cap speculative stock. They're profitable. The crazy thing is the company, it's and they have a short attack on them, by the way. They were talking about that in the earnings call, right? So there's a lot going on in this company. It's being artificially shorted 100%. More details on that coming from the management team soon. This company's profitable. They're literally going to do $130 million of revenue this year with a market cap of now like 400 million. It's unbelievable. The numbers are there. The growth is there. And what they're, again, doing with their different business lines, DeFi Alpha is going to be generating some severe revenue. Stillman, everything they got going there. And what they're generating slowly here. And of course, Valor, they're the beast. They have almost $1 billion of assets under management, guys. It's ridiculous. I think this company is a solid company. There is a little, with the CEO, they just appointed a new CEO. The co-founder stepped down to focus on, he was running two businesses essentially. So he stepped down to focus on the other business. Now we have a CEO solely focused on, DeFi Technologies, who is the co-founder of Valor Asset Management. So he's been with the business now for a long time, right? So this guy's running the ship, and I think it's a slow turnaround story at the end of the day. And the fact that Bitcoin and the crypto market and altcoins are getting slaughtered doesn't help this either, right? If this was happening, listen, if DeFi, and we'll end it after this, if this was crashing during a massive bull market in crypto, yeah, that would be bad. But the fact that we're seeing this crash, it's being accelerated by the Bitcoin market crashing, right? Or the crypto market crashing. And the fact that they're profitable, they cut their guidance a bit. But look, profitable, $130 million of revenue guidance, 400 million market cap. It's like, it's a no-brainer for me to hold. I've been getting questions, should I sell? Should I panic sell or do whatever? I mean, look, if you're down a lot, listen, I'm down a lot. That's the end of the, that's the point at the end of the day. I'm down a lot, but I'm holding, but if you're down a lot, you can make that decision if you want to cut it. But look, this was a stock I wanted to hold for a year or two, and I'm sticking to that. And I got into this knowing that this could happen, which is why I didn't put a lot of money into it, and I was clear with that from the beginning. And at this point, man, look, I still think DeFi Technologies could be a $5 to $10 stock, and I'm holding on tight. My average cost is, I think, $1.85. Yeah, I'm not scared to admit that. I'm down massively. But look, if you look at the longer term charts, it's a wild stock here. It's kind of done this before, right? If you look at this chart here, it's kind of done this before. So I haven't added here in the last week, 2 weeks really. I'm just literally holding at this point, because I kind of want to see now the next quarter or two out of them, see the crypto market mellow out before I even consider adding more. But I'm holding. I'm not dumping. I'm not going to stop making videos on it. We're going to cover it more, and we'll do updates. And I mean, hey, the market's been wild, guys, and that's what happens sometimes when you invest in these small cap wild stocks. You lose money in the short term on paper. But listen, you don't actually lose money until you book the loss, meaning realize the loss, meaning actually selling, which I didn't sell. I've only been buying the stock, and I'm just holding now. So what do you guys think? Let me know. Follow along for more. Check out the Patreon if you want to keep up with my portfolio updates. That is linked down below, pinned in the comments as well. I'll see you guys there. Have a great weekend. And this video got way too long. I don't know why I rambled for 20 minutes here. Hey, it is what it is. A little Friday night special, guys. Hey, I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.